Ebrahim Raisi wins the presidential election of Iran. Ebrahim Raisi, Khomeini's best friend. Big fucking shocker. Khomeini says he's the guy. Khomeini went ahead and eliminated, what, 600 candidates? He eliminated 500 or 600 candidates, including Ahmadinejad, and he was like, okay, I'll let you 7 people, right? Who wants to be Iran's president? 600 people raise their hand. The Khomeini, he's the, fucking Taco Bell Supreme Leader and the Guardian Council. You got 600, 500 people raise their hand, and he's like, no, only you, and you. 7 candidates. 7 candidates. 3 had dropped out. It was only a race between 4, but really it was Hemati versus the entire machine. It was Hemati versus the entire establishment. He already had a poll that came out. He was 65, not Hemati, but Ebrahim Raisi had a poll that came out where he was beating all the rest of them 65% to fucking 8%. So I'm sure he, smashed the composition. Ebrahim Raisi winning in Iran. If Hemati or if anybody else would have won Iran's election, then I've been like, oh, well, shit. I always presumed that Iran's democracy was dog shit. But if somebody else would have won, right, it would have gone against the polls. It would have gone against what Khomeini and the fucking press and everybody was saying. If anybody else would have won, that would have meant that it was competitive. It didn't go the way that the Khomeini wanted to go, so he's got absolute rule, but he can't control the people. But apparently he can't control the people. So, if it's the contrapositive, right? If the other person would have won, then I've been like, well, shit. I definitely, underestimated Iran's democracy, but, I estimated Iran's democracy to be, nothing. And so Iran has a democracy like Syria, like the United States, the Electoral College. None of the citizens of America vote for the president. So there is no democracy in the U.S. There is democracy in Colorado. Colorado, Peru, these are good democracies. Germany. So Iran needs to learn from Peru and Colorado and Germany, and they do not need to take any lessons from Syria. Syria's democracy is crap, and so is Iran. That is not a democracy. That isn't even close to being a democracy. Yeah, what? Ebrahim Raisi, the Khomeini's fucking best fucking friend, he won Iran's presidential election. That's what his lover, Ebrahim Raisi, that's his hand-picked successor. Khomeini, he's 82 years old. So the big question is, since he's 82 and he dies, who's going to be the next Ayatollah? Who's going to be the next Taco Bell Supreme Leader? And I'm not even sure what that process even entails. But apparently the president is, crucial in forming the brand new government after the Ayatollah fucking dies, after the Taco Bell Supreme Leader. Right, so the Supreme Leader, oh, hey there, Supreme Leader. Your Excellency, hey there, Supreme Leader. So there you go, Khomeini's best friend fucking won the goddamn election, right? Big fucking shocker, and what, his cousin won the mayor's fucking chair, and then Jim Jones, he spiked the Kool-Aid, the sky is blue and the grass is green. Tell me something else that's obvious as fuck. Donald didn't win the 2020 election. Remember that big lie? Donald told all of his fucking sicko fans that he won the election, even though it was clear the day of the election that he was lying. He started accusing everybody, saying fraud. He said, it looks like we are winning, but frankly, we did win. Yeah, we're winning, and we did win. Which was it, motherfucker? So if you think Iran has a true blue competitive democracy, if you think the United States has a true blue competitive democracy, then you probably voted for Kikamori. You voted for Kikamori. Shut the fuck up. You're postponing it. You're trying to give her all the space in the world so she could take the presidency away from Pedro Castillo. Ahmadinejad boycotted this election. Many people warned of a low turnout rate, but apparently it was over 52%, so 30 to 40 million people. It did come out for the election, 30 to 40, greater than 52%, so, greater than 52%. You can't say it wasn't a democracy, but that's way better than Virginia, the Democrat primary in Virginia who elected Tara McAuliffe, who's probably going to be the governor. That was a 10% turnout rate. 10% turnout rate, it was only 500,000. They got 30 to 40 million, 52% turnout rate. So even though they have a shit democracy, they had more than half of their people participate in their shit democracy. They had 30 to 40 million people participate in their shit democracy. You can't even get Americans to turn out in rates like that in real fucking elections that they could participate in. So yeah, Iran's democracy is as shitty as Syria's and as shitty as America's. The turnout was greater than 52%, so apparently they do have some democratic integrity, which is shocking. You wouldn't hear any of that kind of talk around here. 30 to 40 million, so the turnout wasn't as low as they had thought. It was still probably low compared to Iran's previous election. But, ultimately, Khomeini's a fucking cheater. We knew the Ayatollah Khomeini is a fucking cheater. Ali Khomeini, he's been in there for, 30 fucking years? He's Assad. Who won this election? Assad won this fucking election. Hey, Assad. Khomeini's 82 years old, so Ebrahim Raisi, expect him to be the next Ayatollah, next Taco Bell Supreme Leader. They're cheaters. We know they're cheaters. They have a shit democracy. It just unveiled itself, right? The Guardian Council, the Raisi, Khomeini, they're cheaters. They're cheaters. Iran's democracy is dog shit, just as bad as that nation with the Electoral College. What? You got Electoral College? That means you don't even vote for your president, American citizen. The American citizen doesn't even vote for their president. Yeah, right. You got a good democracy. Yeah, sure. Not. So Iran, learn from Peru, learn from Colorado, learn from Germany. Do not look, for democracy from the United States or from Syria. Now, Ebrahim Raisi gets to pretend like he's got power. He gets to do as he pleases unless, the Khomeini disagrees. And basically, Ebrahim Raisi does whatever the Khomeini already fucking agrees. He's a hardliner, right-wing hardliner. I don't know too much about him except for that 1988 massacre. So he was part of a death commission that he killed a bunch of mujahideen, I don't know if it's the same, but he also killed a bunch of liberals, a bunch of dissidents, a bunch of people that was just opposed to the regime, a bunch of anti-war protesters or what have you. So, and it was a fucking terrible, disgusting massacre. Just everybody was getting killed in the prisons, in the jail cells. So, yeah, Raisi gets to pretend, hey, look, I'm the president, right? Ebrahim Raisi gets to walk around like a president, doing this, doing that, but ultimately he can only do whatever the fucking Khomeini says that he could do if he agrees or disagrees. He gets to veto everything. He gets to veto his thoughts, veto his behavior. The Khomeini is the fucking dictator, totalitarian dictator. He's the Assad of Iran. Khomeini's sham democracy, right? He picked his fucking favorite. Probably won by huge margins, more than 20 points. I mean, like I said, that poll was 65, to 8, 65 to 8. That means 50 points. So I think this, overall, for America, this is terrible for our interest. It would have been best for us if the reformist, but it would have been better for Iran if they actually had a socialist, if they would have actually had, they need social spending, and all they got was a bunch of, right-wingers, a bunch of hard-line right-wingers. And what the fuck does that mean? Is that Milton Friedman? Is that laissez-faire capitalism? It doesn't sound socialistic. It doesn't sound like they're going to build a bunch of hospitals and housing and, schools for the people, which is exactly what they need. Iran needs a Lenin. Iran needs an FDR. Iran needs a Stefan Löfven. Or just a Merkel. Hell, America needs a Merkel. This is terrible for America, for our interest. I don't think it'd be, the worst thing ever. I think we'll be able to endure. But we didn't help Iran out, right? Trump fucking killed Soleimani, right? Soleimani got killed in fucking Iraq. Iran's part of the axis of evil or what have you. And then Israel and Iran's always attacking each other. Didn't Israel kill like a scientist or some shit? And then there was a rocket that was right next to the stockpile of Israel. So we fucked over the reformists who got the Iran nuclear deal signed, right? Trump pulls out of this deal. Well, that was the liberals. That was the liberals in Iran that signed that fucking deal. So great job, fucking Donald Trump. You just radicalized Iran. You made them more fucking right-wing. They're more right-wing than ever, right? They got 30 to 40 million. They might say, look at our, this election clearly says that this is a repudiation of whatever. It doesn't say anything like that whatsoever. It just means that everybody, the people that voted in Iran, they just got in line with the Khomeini. The Khomeini said, step in line, Iran, and then all of Iran did it. There's a lot of people that boycotted the election, but frankly, if you wanted to do a number to the president or to the fucking Khomeini, you motherfuckers would have all went out and voted for Himati. That would have fucking showed him. If y'all would have went out and voted for Himati, then that means the people of Iran was opposed to the Khomeini's dictatorship. That would have been an awesome display of democracy, but, there isn't a real democracy there. I don't know. Americans don't seem to embrace democracy, so it'd be, even crazy to expect another nation to embrace democracy. More so than, you know, the Americans. But we cause this right-wing regression of Iran, and I fear that it'll cripple Iran. They got economic issues and this issues and that issues, so they're going to stand up tough against us, put more money into military spending and this and that. When they need an FDR, they need social spending, they need hospitals and schools, and they need housing. The only thing that I know about Ebrahim Raisi is that he was a part of that massacre in 1988, the Death Commission. He was a part of the Death Commission. So we know that Ebrahim Raisi absolutely hates the Mujahideen. And he hates the liberals and the hippies and the homosexuals and the women. He hates everybody, fucking everybody. He's just a fucking hater. So Iran needs social spending, government spending, injection into the economy. So the one that just got elected are the ones that hate the socialists, the hippies, the liberals, right? The ones that would have said, let's get unions in here, let's unionize, you know, let's get more democracy, let's do things that will help Iran, let's improve Iran. No, 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 no. So don't expect Iran's economy to get better. Do expect the hate crimes against homosexuals and women to increase. So there you go. Iran's presidential election is over. The Himati conceded. It's over 52%. It's all hush-hush. Apparently we weren't supposed to know until tomorrow. But there you go. Ebrahim Raisi wins the fucking election. He's the new president in this bullshit democracy. The world will go along with it because it's Iran's affairs. They want to cheat, you know, behind closed doors. Who's the rest of the world to say that the people of Iran, maybe they want cheaters. Maybe they want totalitarian dictatorship, cheaters behind closed doors, you know, pulling all the strings. Maybe they just want puppet masters. Maybe they don't want to know what's actually going on. They just want to, like, you know, sheep. They just want to be led, you know, like sheep to the slaughterhouse. Maybe that's all Iranians want. Maybe that's all Americans want. 10% Virginia, 10% fucking turnout rate Virginia. Jesus Christ, 5 million Virginians said, I'm not going to vote for Terry McAuliffe or the other person. I'm not voting. No, fuck this democracy. Fuck elections. Fuck democracy. Too many people in America say fuck democracy for us to go around the world with a gun telling everybody that they got to do democracy. I agree with democracy. I like democracy. But it's way too fucking hypocritical for this nation to point a gun at anybody and say that we got the Electoral College. We don't know jack shit about democracy. We've had the Electoral College for 200 fucking years. The fuck America knows about democracy.